students, so here we shall continue the second lesson, that is extension of the British rule in India. So up till now you might have got an idea how the Britishers they gained control over these all regions. So here see, first of all they had control over the eastern part of India or eastern region of India, where they had only limited places, that is up till Bengal and Bombay. That much only was their area where they could gain, where they had to administer. Later on they wanted to gain control over the western part, southern part and north western regions. So here in northwestern regions Sikhs were more powerful, that is Sikh king, that is Ranjit Singh. And to the western region, the Mysore state, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan were more powerful. And in the southern areas, Marathas were more powerful. And these were the main obstacles who could stop the Britishers to conquer these places. So here, one by one, they continuously waged wars. They fought with Marathas. 3 Anglo-Maratha wars were fought. After these 3 Anglo-Maratha wars, the Maratha region was under the control of the British. They captured this region. So 2 Anglo-Sikh wars were fought, and the north-western region was under the control of the British. And with Mysore state they waged 4 Anglo-Mysore wars. So in this chapter, already I have said you, in this chapter we will study only about 3 Anglo-Maratha wars and 2 Anglo-Sikh wars. So already you studied about first Anglo-Maratha war, which took place from 1775 to 1782. For 7 years this war took place. By this year, this first Anglo-Maratha war almost ended with the Salbai agreement. So next year, not only they waged wars, but also the Britishers introduced cunning policies. By those cunning policies, they could get direct control over those regions. So here in this lesson, they have mentioned about 2 cunning policies, that is subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. Subsidiary alliance was introduced by Lord Wellesley in 1798 and doctrine of lapse was introduced by Lord Dalhousie in 1848. So now in last class we studied about the subsidiary alliance. So what is the subsidiary alliance? It is a military agreement between the Britishers and Indian kings. So here there were few conditions regarding this subsidiary alliance. Already I have studied about 3 conditions. So next another 3 conditions we shall study today. So see here, first earlier whatever I had studied, those 3 conditions, what were they? Many a times we have asked this question for 2 marks and 3 marks. What is subsidiary alliance, or what were the agreements of subsidiary alliance, or what were the conditions of subsidiary alliance? So you have to write same answer for this all. So see our first point was the British king had to keep, the Indian king had to keep the British army in his kingdom. Next, he had to give them wages, he had to bear their expenses, and also he had to give some land revenue to that army. Next, another condition was the any Britishers would be in the Indian king's court, and he could see whatever would happen in that court. So here fourth point, next point is the king could not appoint any other European without the permission of the British. So either than the East India Company, any other European, that is from the Europe, any other countryman could not be appointed by that king without the permission of the Britishers. Means that king who had entered into subsidiary alliance, he could not appoint any other European in his kingdom without the permission of the Britishers. So next here, fifth point. In order to enter any agreement or pact with any Indian government, the permission of the Governor General was mandatory. So here, the king could not enter into any agreement with any other kings. If he had to enter into any agreement, he had to take the permission of the Governor General. Means whatever the king is to do, he had to do with the permission of the Governor General. Without his permission, he could not do anything. Britishers had control over that area, and that Indian king was a puppet in the hands of the British. So see here, last point, sixth one, that is, in return of these all services, the company would offer protection to the state from any internal or external aggression. So see here, these all 5 points what they were. These all were done by the Indian kings to the British army or to the East India Company. For this all thing, what the Indian king would get? He could get protection from that army. Means whenever there was internal aggression or external aggression, that is, if any other king wages war with this king or anything happens within his kingdom, at that time the British army would help this king to fight the war. Only the Britishers helped only for war, but the Indian king had to do this much all thing to the Britishers. So this was one kind of cunning policy of the Britishers. I think you have understood about subsidiary alliance. It is very important regarding your exams. So see here, the British could place Indian state under their control through this policy, and maintenance of the army became easy. So see here, Britishers what they did? That whole of British army was given to the Indian kings, and by this what happened? Whatever the expenses, wages were there of the British army, that king only had to give to the army. By this the Britishers expenditure became less, and they could maintain very easily their army. See here, the Indian states were subjected severe economic exploitation. So the Indian kings had to face a lot of economic exploitation. Why? Because they had to look after this large army. Everything they had to give to them. So by this, economically the king became more weak. This is here for 1 mark, 2 marks. They have asked this question many a times. See here, the Hyderabad state was the first state to enter this agreement. So which was the first state to enter subsidiary alliance agreement? Hyderabad was the first state to enter subsidiary alliance agreement. Later, that is after Hyderabad, many places or many kings entered into this agreement. If they were not willingly, they entered into the agreement. Forcibly, they were made to enter this agreement by the Britishers. So let us see here, Mysore, Oudh, Tanjavur, Maratha, Pune, Virar, Gwalior and other states entered in this agreement. So first state was Hyderabad. Later on, these all places, that is Mysore, Oudh, Tanjavur, Maratha, Pune, Gwalior, Virar were the states to enter into subsidiary alliance. So I think it is clear about the subsidiary alliance, who introduced, what were the conditions, and which state was the first state to enter into this alliance. So next we shall study about the Second Anglo-Maratha War, which took place in 1803 to 1805. Second Anglo-Maratha War 1803 to 1805. So what all happened in this war? This war took place for almost about 2 to 3 years. So what all happens here? The differences among the Maratha chieftains was the reason for this war. An enmity broke out between Yashwantrao of Holkar family and Daulat Rao of Scindia family along with Peshwa Balaji Rao II. So here, during the Second Anglo-Maratha War, Balaji Rao II was the Peshwa. And here the difference between the chieftains, means the rulers of those regions, the difference between them, or the competition or the rivalry between these chieftains led for the Second Anglo-Maratha War. At that time the Maratha Peshwa was Baji Rao II or Balaji Rao II. In 1802, the army of Holkar defeated the army of Scindia and the Peshwa. So here, Holkar family and Scindia family were there. So here what happens here, in 1802, the Holkar army, they defeated these both, that is Balaji Rao II and the Scindias. Who? Holkar. Why? Because he wanted to become the Peshwa of Maratha. The Peshwa appealed for the help from the British. Lord Wellesley finally finally got an opportunity to meddle with the affairs of Marathas. So here now what happened, see, Peshwa and Scindia, they both were defeated by this Holkar. So here Peshwa, what he did, Balaji Rao, he went and he seeked for the help of the Britishers. So at that time Lord Wellesley, he got an opportunity to enter into this war and defeat the Marathas. And he had his own interest for this war. Why? Because he wanted to conquer those places. So he entered into the war and he was waiting for this situation only, for this opportunity only he was waiting. The Peshwa appealed for the help from the British. Lord Wellesley finally got an opportunity to meddle with the affairs of Marathas. The Peshwa entered the subsidiary alliance system by accepting the Treaty of Basing. So see here what happened. This Peshwa, he took the help of the British, but the Britishers forcibly they made him to enter into this subsidiary alliance. Understood? So here Peshwa or Balaji Rao II, he accepted subsidiary alliance and took the help of the British. And here the Treaty of Basing was signed. Other Maratha families like Holkar, Gwalior and Bhosle formed an alliance opposing this treaty. Lord Wellesley defeated the armies of various Maratha families from 1803 to 1805. That is 1803 to 1805. So see here, this Treaty of Basing was signed by Balaji Rao II and the Britishers. That is Treaty of Basing. What happened in Treaty of Basing? Balaji Rao II accepted a subsidiary alliance. So when he accepted subsidiary alliance and he signed this Treaty of Basing, at that time the other Maratha families like Holkar, Gwalior and Bhosle, Scindia and all, what happened? They opposed this treaty. When they opposed this treaty, Lord Wellesley one by one he started defeating those all Marathas. That is from 1803 to 1805, almost the Maratha families were defeated. But this battle thirstiness increased the financial burden on the company. On being criticized for this policy, Lord Wellesley resigned from his post and returned to England. This resulted in peace in the region. So see here, within these 2 or 3 years, he defeated most of the Marathas. And his battle thirstiness was increasing more and more. Why? Because he wanted to continuously wage war. He wanted to continuously conquer the places one by one and have control over those areas. By this what happened? The peace of this region was disturbed. Here there was no peace among the Britishers also and among the Marathas also. But not only the peace but also the economic burden over the Britishers had increased. Why economic burden had increased? By waging continuously war, the economy of British had decreased. So here see, Lord Wellesley was forced to resign from his post. Resign from his post means he was Governor General. He had to leave that and again he had to return back to England. Why? Because so that the peace would be maintained over this region and also the economic conditions would come up, some would be good or it would be better up to some extent. So here this resulted in peace in the regions. So here see, many times they have asked this question for 2 marks. Why Lord Wellesley returned to England or why he resigned from his post and all. At that time you have to write this here. His battle thirstiness. His battle means Lord Wellesley's thirstiness increased the financial burden of the company. Company means East India Company. For East India Company there was economical burden. Why? Because continuously he was waging wars. And so here he was being criticized. Means he was being opposed by many people. When he was being opposed, he had to resign from his post to maintain peace over those regions and went back to England. So this much is about the Second Anglo-Maratha War, which took place from 1803 to 1805. So almost the Maratha families or Maratha chieftains were defeated by the Britishers. Balaji Rao II, he entered into subsidiary alliance with Lord Wellesley, that is by signing a Treaty of Basing. First Anglo-Maratha War, which agreement was signed? Salwai Agreement was signed. Second Anglo-Maratha War, Treaty of Basin was signed. So here this much is about Second Anglo-Maratha War. If they ask you this question, write about Second Anglo-Maratha War, you have to mention the date first and who are the Maratha chieftains. Here Holkar Maratha chieftain, he fought against the Scindias and Balaji Rao II, and also he defeated this both, that is Scindia and Balaji Rao II. When he defeated these both people, this Peshwa and Scindia, at that time this Peshwa went and asked for help of the British. The Britishers, they did not help him, but instead of helping they asked something from him. That is what they asked. They asked him to enter into this policy, that is subsidiary alliance. When this Balaji Rao II entered into subsidiary alliance, at that time the other families, that is Holkar, Bhosle, Scindia and Gwalior, these all families, they opposed against this treaty, that is Treaty of Basin. When they opposed, at that time continuously Lord Wellesley waged war against these Marathas from 1803 to 1805, and almost the Marathas were made more weak. Why? Because they had already entered into this subsidiary alliance, and indirectly by entering into subsidiary alliance the Maratha region was controlled or administered by the British. So in next class we shall study about the Third Anglo-Maratha War and also about the two Anglo-Sikh wars. Here they have not mentioned the two wars differently, but in one only they have explained about these two wars. In one paragraph they have explained. So I shall tell you about that and doctrine of lapse. So by this I will end this class. Thank you students.